Hey guys, this is Hetu and welcome back to ETL Labs. So guys, today we will talk about something very important, and I think that this video is going to be the one you can actually use all those scripts that I'm going to show you in your real project. Okay, so this is going to be very practical session and very important from interview point of view, as well as when you are working on a real project where you have some file validation, etc. You can actually use as it is the scripts that I'm going to show you, right? There are a couple of validation that we normally do as part of our ETL testing, and those all the scripts I have actually clubbed together in a single Python file, and I'll show you how do we run those Python files and how I have implemented it, what all the checks that we implemented. I will actually walk you through, and so from that point of view, it's very going to be very important from interview point of view as well, because let's say when you appear for the interview, interviewer might ask you what kind of automation you have done in your ETL testing. Then you can actually straight away walk him through all these checks that we are actually discussing here, right? So this is from that point of view, as well as I said, you can actually implement in your projects also, where you are doing all these manual testing. You can actually use it is right, use this as it is. All right, so this is based on the previous couple of videos on Python pandas that we have done, and so if you don't understand few things, you have to go back and actually look at those lectures as well, those videos as well, which will give you a lot of clarity. But I don't think so there is any I mean, it's going to be difficult because it's a very straightforward, guys. Okay, it's just that the way I have actually put in together all of them, and then in this particular Python file ETL validation, right? And those scripts are going to run, right? So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So let's say in this case, I'm having a source file. For example, let's say I have an employee.csv as a source file, and I want to do couple of validation on this particular file. All right. So what are those validation that we will talk about? Let me show you first the file, right? So how does it look? So this is the file, guys, okay, that I have actually put together. So this is employee number, employee name, department name, and salary. Now, if you look at here, there are couple of records which are duplicate here, right? Which in normal scenario also, when you get the data from the source system, we have lot of duplicates, right? In this case also, I intentionally created these two records as a duplicate, and here also two records as a duplicate. So entire record you see, those are duplicates, right? Now I have actually kept one blank here, right? I mean null value here, which means Peter doesn't have the department name assigned to him. So we will also check whether we have any null values for that particular, that particular column in that particular field, right? And at the same time, I have also we also need to check couple of things. Let's say we have this duplicate value, then I would like to ideally redirect to a certain file, different file, where actually you can go and check whether after rerunning the script you can go and check that particular file and ensure that these are the duplicate records, and those duplicates actually without any analysis you can directly send it to developer that they are the duplicates, and they can actually look at those issues, isn't it? So this is something that the testing evidence also we can capture directly, right? Uh, so yeah, and there are other things that, for example, how many rows are there, how many columns are there, and what all the different column names are there, and all those kind of validation, right? I have put together here. Okay, so let's see, right? I mean, this is the file format I wanted to show you, and then I will show you what all the test cases that we have put. I mean, the number of test cases that I have put, it is good for interview point of view. But in your real project, maybe you might need to add few more, right? Few more type of test, so you can actually Google and just explore a bit more about it. But the whole purpose of this video is that how do we run end-to-end these tests, and how actually we can use the Python file to run our test, right? So let's go to that particular file. So this is dot py file, guys. Okay. So Let me just open it. Open this file in Notepad, and I'll show you all the what all the scripts are there. So this is the script, guys, right? So you see, I've used this import pandas at pd, and then I have actually used this particular file employee.csv, the file that I have shown you just now, right? So this file .csv, and separator is a delimiter. I mean, delimiter. It's a CSV file, so comma, right? If the file format is different, then you have to give the different separator. So this is how actually we have created. So this is basically to read this particular file and put into this particular data frame. Data frame name I have kept as a source. You can put df and whatever you want to do. Now, guys, we have actually covered couple of test cases here. So let's go one by one. What are those test cases, right? So first test case that we have written is we want to actually show what all the different columns are there in that particular source file, right? So this is my source file, and what all the different columns are there. Obviously, I want to know the column names, right? Because this is one of the checks that I would like to do as part of my ETL. So for that, we are actually going to print it on the console itself. So I will say source, because source is something, the data frame. We have already read all this, uh, we have stored all this content of this CSV file into this particular data frame source. So I'll say source dot columns, then it will give you all the columns name, and then this is just to separate a different line basically, right? Now test case number two, it says that how many rows are there and how many columns are there. It will give you row into columns, right? So then it will give you idea like how many rows are there, how many columns are there. Many times we have huge number of columns, and then uh, in this way actually you know how many columns are there, how many rows are there. We will see all this outputs after that. And to actually check that, we have something, this is the attribute source dot shape, right? So this will give you the row and columns dimension, right? And then the third test case is number of rows under each column. This is very much important, guys, because see, you have in this way we can actually, let's say I have three different columns, and I'm expecting basically not null in the entire file. Then I would like to see that each of the columns are having those many rows, right? In case there is any null value, in that case the row number will be lesser, right? So this is very important. In this way, actually, when you say source.count, this will give you the count against each of these columns, right? Against each of the columns, how many rows are there, right? That is something going to give you. If there is any null value against any of this column on any row, then that will be discounted, guys, right? So this is good way to check whether we have any missing values for a particular columns or not, right? So that we will see how it gives you output. And the fourth test case is duplicate records in the source file. So guys, I wanted to make sure that we don't have any duplicate records, right? So I can actually run this particular command. What is that? Source dot duplicated. This is the function, and then sum is the function. It will actually give you how many, the count basically, right? Two, three, four, how many? Those are the duplicates. Basically, duplicate counts will be displayed. And the fifth test case, guys, is the duplicate record saved in a file. So what I would like to do is, let's say I have got these duplicate counts, okay, and then I'm interested to know that which are those duplicates, right? So in that case, actually, I can just write into this particular file. So this is a file, right? That's where I'm actually doing writing it, right? So what I'm doing is source.duplicated and then dot to CSV, and then this is the file name where I'm actually storing it, right? So this is the fifth test case, guys, right? Now you might be seeing that these are pretty much important and very critical test cases that we have to do as part of our ETL validation. And looking at this, you can imagine that this is so effortlessly very easy to run these commands and test it. So that's where the beauty of Python pandas, right? Now, test case number six. Check if there is a null value exists for a particular column, right? So in this case, we have actually intentionally taken one null value here. department name. Here is a null value, right? So ideally, I should be able to get this particular record where exactly is null under department name, right? So if you can actually second, where is that? Not this one, guys. Okay. Yeah, here. Now, if I want to just check if dpt underscore name column is having any null value or not, then this is the way basically. So you actually get the department numbers from this particular data frame. You get this particular column and then say is null function, guys. Yeah? Is null function. This will give you true and false. And then when actually pass this true and false under this particular data frame, right? And then this will give me the whole record basically, right? And then this will give me exactly the whole record. So it's easy to check basically with the department number having null, which particular record it is, right? Now the seventh test case, I think this is more of a checking the unique value in each of these particular columns, right? So for example, you can also check whether we have the null values under each of these columns or not. This is also something that you can actually check. So one test case for each of these columns, actually you can check whether we have null values or not, right? Similarly, we have actually use, I mean, you can use one, or you can also use like for all the columns same test, right? Employee number, employee name, employee department name, and salary. What we want to check is basically whether we have any unique record or not, right? I mean, how many unique records are there or not, right? So all those unique values, basically this will give you all the unique values. Okay, all of them. And then the similar test 9 and then 10, this is just that the different column, the test looks same basically, right? It basically ensure display you all the unique values from that particular column. Okay, now the last one, what we have done is we actually getting the head means head or tail. Head means basically I think first 5 rows it will give you, first 5 records it will display, and then this is something that you can actually show that this is the sample records from the file, right? So, if you want to check the last couple of records, then also you can set tail, I guess, here, right? You can just say sample top, okay, bottom, I will say bottom 5 maybe, and here I can say top 5, right? Top 5 records. Here I can say tail. Hmm? So let's see, guys. So these are the test cases, isn't it? I mean, these are the test cases that are very obvious to check in any ETL testing. And you see that how easy this to check basically all these tests. I mean, you can also check other columns as well here. For example, I don't want to put so many, but then let me put one at least here. Seventh, I don't want to rename it, guys. I'll say 6A maybe. Okay. I just want to say salary. Okay, salary column. All right, and here it is salary, guys. All right. So I want to check whether we have any null in salary or not. Correct. So okay, so these are the test cases that we have done. So you see that what all the checks we are doing. Basically, we are checking duplicates are there or not. We are also checking whether null values exist in particular columns or not. We are also checking whether we have all the unique records. I mean, in that case, we are ensuring that we are actually having all those unique records which are allowed, right? And along with that, we are also checking rows, column, number of rows, number of columns, and then counts against each of them, and then sample records, etc. Right? So these are the good amount of test cases that we are doing it. As I said, based on your requirement in your project, you can actually put some more test cases as part of ETL testing. But I think this is something that I wanted to show you that this is how you can do it, right? So these are the test cases that I have written. Now let me close it, guys. And then what I would also say here, maybe let me just make one null here as well. So then I will get this particular record also when I check the null value for the salary. Okay, now this is done. Now if I show you, um, when I run this script, see, as I told, right, we will be creating a separate file for duplicate records as well, right? So it will be generated here. So as we have written it, so now we have updated this particular file. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this particular file. So how do I run it? I just say right click. I say open in terminal. We are here, right? Now I will say Python. This is the way how we run actually, right? So Python ETL validator. All right. Just typed ETL and then tab, guys. Then this will give you. Okay. Now you say enter. Now see, these are the actually output which we have got on the console. If you can just check it one by one, and this is how actually you can run all those test cases. See how many test cases we are actually able to run within a fraction of seconds, right? So the first one, it is talking about following are the column names in source file, right? So in source file, what are the column names? Employee name, employee number, name, department number, and salary, right? So these are the columns. You see, these are the columns exactly. Now second test case is talking about how many rows are there and how many columns are there, guys, right? So it says that 9 rows and 4 columns. Is this true? Just check it. So these are the things, right? Because the first one is header, right? So these are the 9, and columns are actually 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct? 9 rows and 4 columns. Right. Now the third one is number of rows under each columns, right? So this is interesting. You see, how many rows are there under each column? Ideally, we should be having the same count here, right? So for example, employee number should be 9, employee department name should also be 9 basically, but it's not 9, it's 8. Why? Because we have one null value, same for salary as well, right? So if you see it here, this is null and this is not getting counted, right? And here also salary is not counted, but employee number and employee name both are having 9 9. You see here, those are the row count, right? So this is how this is very handy to actually check whether we have something wrong, some null values, etc. And then fourth test case is duplicate records in the source. So this will also give you, okay, we have how many? Two duplicate records in the source. Okay, so this is something that we want to check, right? So which are those? Those are the two duplicate, and I want to actually check where are those duplicates. So I have created one file, as I said, right? So it will actually write all the duplicates in the next test cases, right? Test case, but I will show you now, right? So which are the duplicate one? So you see 1 and 3, employee number 1 and 3 both are duplicate actually, Adam and Christopher. So can we see the source file? So this is Adam. You see this is duplicate, and Christopher is also having two records, right? So that's the reason. Oh, one from here is actually coming, one from here is. So this is how actually it is telling that employee number 1 and employee number 3 is having duplicate instances. Okay. Now, so this is how you can actually check it. Duplicate records. Now, duplicate records saved in file below, right? So we have actually saved in file below. I haven't actually written here. I can actually write in my script the file name basically, right? But then fine, you know that, right? Now, if you say test case number 6, check if null value exists in department name column or not. Clearly, it is showing that there is a null value, and what is that particular null value for employee number 2, Peter? There is a null value in the department name. So if I can show you here, Peter, employee number 2, and there is a null value in the department name here, right? Correct. Now, the similar way, check if null value exists for the salary column or not. So for salary column, there is a null value exists, right? And which one is that? Employee number 4, Alan. So if I can just go and see it, employee number 4 and Alan, salary is null, right? So this is how we can actually check the null value is existing for any particular column or not. Now, unique value of employee number in the source, right? So now I want to check what are the different values for the particular employee, right? For in the employee number column, right? So we actually want to check only unique. We don't want to check the duplicate one, right? So that's why. So here you see 1, 1, and then 3, 3 is also coming too, but it will actually count only once because they are actually showing you the unique record 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Now, unique value of employee name. So these are the different names. Now, unique value of department name. So IT NAN, which means guys, this is NAN means this is basically the null value, right? So null value is also actually displayed. This is also one of the value. Then finance, sales, HR, right? So you see all this. And then similarly for salary also there is a null value that I have showed you, right? So there are only two salary, unique value of salary, 1000 and 4000. Can we check? Is it true? Exactly. See, 1000 and 4000. There are only two unique and one is null also, right? So in fact three unique and all those three uniques are here displayed, right? Now top five records, right? Top five records I want to just show you. So these are the one top five records. It has shown Adam, Peter, Christopher, right? So this is where it is. You see here up to here, right? Up to Christopher. And if I show, see bottom five, so this will be the idea, right? So this will be the one, the bottom five, right? So Christopher to Matthew, employee number 3 to 7, yeah. Hopefully this is the one, employee 3 to 7. So this is the bottom five, which means still, right? So 3 to 7. So these are the records basically. You see, and then test completed, which means it says that script completed, right? And so this is, you see that this is very useful, isn't it? Because you can actually just create this script and you can just run this particular uh, Python file, right? And this will actually do all the testing. So, for example, this is especially useful when you have the huge file that we are talking about, right? Because ETL source files are huge in terabytes, right? In those cases, these are really helpful, right? All the checking all those details, right? And yeah, so that's the reason I said that you can actually use all these scripts that we have discussed here in your real project as well, and you can additionally add some more if you need to, based on your requirement of your project. But definitely I think this is what I wanted to cover when I was actually doing some Python videos. I told you that I will do the last video wherein I will show you how to run the Python file, Python script, and then you can actually validate the records, right? In this case, guys, you have to actually always make sure that in this particular file, right? This file, we have to always make sure that we are actually editing the file name, right? Because here I have taken employee.csv. For you also you have to actually do this. And if your file are having different columns, then you have to make sure that you are actually putting the right column names, etc. For example, department name and all those things. So based on your file name, but the idea is this is the sample, right? That you can use it for your projects, and these are a couple of test cases that you can use for your projects and also for the interviews, right? All right, guys. I think that this is helpful to you, and I hope that uh, this this will uh, this will be added knowledge to your what do you say, your skills, right? And if you have more questions or you have any other topic that you want me to do video, I'll try to do that. And if you really like this video and it has helped you somewhere, as part of token, as a token appreciation, you can actually, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to like this video if you really liked it. That's something, the motivation that helped me to do more and more such videos like that, right? So with this, I think we are done with this video. Until we meet next time, happy learning. God bless you. Bye.